everyone, and welcome to 12U English for Dummies, the show where I, Rachel, help you pass your English class. In the current series, we have been covering themes. But before we dive into this episode, if this is your first time here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also subscribe to our newsletter to receive more updates on our content. As well, watch the first video in the series called What is a Theme? If you need more help, we hold live sessions every Tuesday and Thursday evening from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m., which can be accessed through Google Classroom. Link is in the description. So diving right in, this episode we're going to be covering the theme of religion. So what exactly is religion? Well, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, religion is a personal set or institutionalized system of religious attitudes, beliefs, and practices. As a religion person myself, this is a theme that is very important to me and hits close to home. To cover this theme, we'll be using three characters from three different works of literature. Warden Samuel Norton from Stephen King's Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, and last but not least, Dunstan from Robertson Davies' Fifth Business. Alright, so starting with Warden Samuel Norton from Stephen King's Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, Warden Samuel Norton is the most religion-oriented character. He is very educated in Christianity and has a thorough knowledge of the Bible. In fact, a quote from the text said, he had a Bible quote for every occasion. He dedicates his life to the Lord and tries to incorporate religion into the prisoners' lives by giving them each a Bible. In the movie Shawshank Redemption, which I believe is a faithful adaptation to the book, here's his opening line.
It's Mr. Hadley, he's captain of the guards. I'm Mr. Norton, the warden. You are convicted felons. That's why they've sent you to me. Rule number 1, no blasphemy. I'll not have the Lord's name taken in vain in my prison. The other rules, you'll figure out as you go along. Any questions?
When do we eat?
You eat when we say you eat. You shit when we say you shit, and you piss when we say you piss. You got that, you maggot dick motherfucker? On your feet.
I believe in two things, discipline and the Bible. Here you'll receive both. Put your trust in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me. Welcome to Shawshank.
Unhook him.
Being a man who is very educated in religion, the expectation would be that he'd live the life he teaches. However, this is not quite the case. Norton loudly proclaims his religiousness and constantly quotes the Bible, yet he lives a life that opposes Christianity. He rules Shawshank with force and corruption. Red mentions that the man was the foulest hypocrite that I ever saw in a high position. An example of this is in the novella, when he applauds Andy for reading the Bible in his cell, yet proceeds to use Andy for his dirty work that involves criminal activity. He also encourages the use of violence to maintain power. Thus, his character in the novella never develops because he fails to live the Christian life he preaches about. He stays the same corrupt prison guard through the whole novella and never changes his life for the better. Even at the end of the novella, he cannot confess his wrongdoings as most Christians would do and chooses instead to... Next up, we have Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark from William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Hamlet may not at first appear to be too religious, but with thorough reading of the play, there are some parts where we see religion playing a key role in Hamlet's life. In listening to Hamlet's to be or to not be soliloquy, we see his religious thinking on the topic of suicide. Hamlet contemplates suicide after his once great lifestyles become a tragedy. However, he says, "Oh, that this too sully flesh would melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew, or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. O God, O God." This essentially means he will not commit suicide because he knows it's wrong in God's sight. The next time we see religion impacting Hamlet's decision-making is when he's given his first opportunity to kill King Claudius. He catches Claudius praying alone and says, "Now might I do it, now he is praying, and now I'll do it," and he goes to heaven. "And so I am revenge, that would be scant. A villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is higher and salary, not revenge." He refuses to kill Claudius while he is praying because that gives him the chance of repenting his sins and going to heaven, much more of a blessing than punishment according to Hamlet. Religion is very keen in Hamlet's character development. Religion heavily influences his choice of morality. When Hamlet considers religion before acting, he makes a much more conscious decision. As well, his character through the play is very patient in acting, yet ready just like Christ. Also, like Christ, he is sacrificed for his goal to be achieved and leaves in a scene of renewal and hope. So finally, we discuss our last character, which is Dunstan from Robertson Davies' Fifth Business. The entire novel is heavily religion-based, and there are multiple religions discussed in the novel. Dunstan starts off as a Presbyterian, but transforms to a Catholic by the end of the novel. His journey to Catholicism is shown through the story, and it plays a significant role in his character development. His religious journey begins when he meets Miss Dempster. He sees her as a saint after she performs various miracles in his life. He says, "I had once been fully persuaded that Mary Dempster was a saint, and even of late years I had not really changed my mind. There were 3 miracles, after all, miracles to me, if to no one else. The 3 miracles she performed were raising his brother from the dead, appearing to him during the war, and changing the life of the tramp. His journey through finding his faith includes him reading about saints in his childhood and during the war and changing his name to Dunstan in respect to the saint. Why don't you change it to Dunstan? Say Dunstan was a marvelous person and very much like you, mad about learning, terribly stiff and stern and scolly, and an absolute wizard at withstanding temptation. He proceeds to become very educated in saints and travels around the world to learn more. Religion contributes greatly to his character development because he begins to find himself as he grows in his faith. He finds his interests and hobbies and begins to feel like he belongs. It also shapes his morale and he begins to resent any non-Christ-like behaviors, such as the behaviors of his friend Boy. Now, to fully understand this theme, we must look at how it relates to our own lives. For me, religion has helped me reach self-actualization during my 4 years of high school. I attended a Catholic high school for my 4 years of high school, so having thorough understanding of religion was crucial in my high school success. The 3 major things all Catholics learn is to love your neighbor as yourself, treat others the way you like to be treated, and do as Jesus would do. These 3 rules helped a lot of my decision making in high school. There were times where situations would get rough, like for example, I could get into arguments or I'd get a grade I didn't like, and many more issues that teenagers face in school. But with thorough understanding of these rules, I was able to make conscious decisions even in the toughest situation. As well, when things got rough, I always kept a positive mindset and trusted God as I learned to do instead of giving up, such like in the case of Hamlet. Throughout my 4-year journey in a Catholic high school, I strengthened my relationship with God while I was learning about religion and listening to the morning prayers. I began to realize I have a strong interest in religion and took it upon myself to learn more, just like Dunstan. Overall, with going to a Catholic school, I've been able to express my faith more and understand it better. So that concludes today's show. I hope you learned more about religion, and we'll catch you next time.